Well, here we are with a special tape that we have coming up.
That's right. We wanted to dedicate one of these tapes to the effect of toxins and the value of persistence. You've seen so many cases where people just get beyond things so quickly. We wanted to show you in one tape where that doesn't always happen, so you get the kind of reality of the whole thing. And the first one we're going to talk about is Todd. Now, Todd came to one of our seminars some months ago and sat in the seminar and watched everybody else get beyond so many things so rapidly over a 3-day period, and virtually nothing was happening with him. He just simply wasn't making any headway. And he was a little discouraged, actually. But over the next few weeks, what he did was he began to look for toxic things that might be in his way of having EFT work. And he located some, and he came back to another seminar, which you're going to see here in a moment, and told about this story. Because as soon as he got these other things out of his way, everything works like it's supposed to.
Right, and again, he made a special effort to come to the seminar because he was so excited about discovering that he could really make this work for him, because he was very discouraged after the first seminar.
And it's kind of like being a kid in a candy store. Everybody gets a candy but you.
Right.
You know, and that was kind of like what it was like. But anyway, so here's Todd as he and I address this seminar. And listen carefully. There's a lesson or two here. Everybody say hello, Todd.
Hi, everybody.
Todd was here a month ago, almost exactly.
Yep.
Is that right? In fact, you were sitting right over there. And the first night we did something about sleep. You were one of the people who had a sleeping disorder, right?
Right.
And the next morning, that's like we did here. We went around and we came to you. What did you say? Do you recall?
Oh, I can't really recall, just that it's...
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
I had my worst sleep. I had a very bad night's sleep.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
In fact, you were getting, if I remember it correctly, throughout the seminar, you weren't really getting much.
Right.
Personally, for yourself. Right? I mean, you're watching everybody else, but for yourself, you weren't getting that much, right?
Right.
Okay. Remember yesterday I said one of the things you want to make certain you take responsibility for is that before you leave, you get your own aha, you get your own breakthrough on this, you get your own movement someplace, so that it's like you've actually walked on the fire instead of watched everybody else do it. Okay. But for whatever the reason, you tried it with the sleep and whatever. But you were. We did a little bit with depression. You had depression, and that didn't seem to do much that you noticed, right?
Right.
Okay. And then you came up. When we closed the whole thing. You came up and you had an issue then. Remember what it was? I do, because I was watching the film. Okay. It was your eye pain.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now see, I haven't really asked you this, but we're just having a discussion, you and I, in front of them for everybody else to learn from the experience. But you watched here over and over and over again people getting pain reduced, did you not, of various kinds, over and over again?
Absolutely.
And you were sitting there with eye pain, which was a constant thing that leads into big headaches, etc.
Right.
For you. I mean, it was a major problem for you.
Yes.
Right? And you were having them, I presume, most of the time throughout the seminar.
Pretty often. Yes.
My question to you is, why didn't you tap for them? That's pretty. You didn't expect that a question, but it's an interesting question. Why didn't you tap for them?
I can make up some great reasons afterwards, but well, my memory, which is always filtered, but my memory is that we weren't supposed to be tapping on our own during the seminar, so that you could...
Yes, that's right. And my question to you, though, is did you think about tapping for your eye pain?
No,
you didn't.
It's just so constant.
Okay, and it's just so constant. The reason I point this out is because I want to make sure that some of the features that go on this are well communicated to you. I have frequently dealt with people who will watch everything go on, and they will somehow say, I see them get over it, and this get over it, and they get over that, but they somehow or other don't think that their issue is addressable. Like we didn't deal specifically with anybody's eye pain up here, did we? Okay, so why would it work for eye pain? Just all pains but eye pain or something. I'm teasing you a little bit, but in a way that it happens frequently. That's why I mentioned it. So you came up here, and I wanted you to get some kind of an aha for yourself. And so I asked you a question. You said, well, yeah, I have this eye pain. I said, well, how bad is it now? I forgot the number. It was a 5 or something or other. And in moments, what happened to it?
Disappeared entirely.
To your surprise.
Absolutely.
Todd got an aha. Okay? All right? Now, you went home, and we have since worked on the telephone with 3 issues. The eye pain. What were the issues? You tell them. I don't want to do all the talking. You tell them. The eye pain. What else?
Eye pain, depression, and sleeping.
Okay, eye pain, depression. And you were taking Zoloft. It was a medication. Somebody else here was taking Zoloft, I think, 1 or 2 of you. And even though you take Zoloft, your depression would still come back from time to time.
Yeah, I could feel it when it starts to come back. Yes. Okay,
all right. Now here's one of the reasons I have Todd here is to mention a couple things we've done, but there's something else that we did. Okay, and that has to do with energy toxins. Okay. He was not getting any result whatsoever sleeping-wise. We did manage to get a result with eye pain, and you weren't getting any result with depression. You basically weren't getting any results that you were noticing. And I suspicion myself when we do sleeping, every night or every day, and nothing happens, that there's something toxic in your system. I'd like to give you another thought, another concept about this energy toxicity item that we introduced here within EFT. There are occasions where it certainly appears that toxins get in the way of EFT working properly. There are other occasions I've found with experience that the actual cause of the specific problem, and depression is one of those things that's in this category. The actual cause is something somebody is allergic to or toxic to. A great example would be a friend of mine in Georgia that had depression for years and took Prozac and the pills and all the things, and all they really did was mask the problem, and she really didn't get over it at all until she discovered that she was sensitive to wheat. And as soon as she got wheat out of her diet, the depression just disappeared almost instantly. No tapping, no EFT, no nothing. In a case like that, one could conclude that the real cause was an allergic reaction or an energy toxin that actually caused the depression in this case. Those things can cause various diseases, and I'm not a physician, so I don't want to go through a long list of all these things. But I do want to point out that on more than one occasion we simply eliminate something from somebody's diet, and the whole problem goes away. So that's just another angle on the toxicity. We still need to pay attention to it as far as EFT is concerned, but there may be another way to look at it.
Right.
Now, if you remember, everybody, this list of common toxins here, among them here is wheat, corn. I don't have sugar down here. Sugar should be on this list, actually, and refined sugar. And so in this case, we use voice technology. So something that you don't have to use, but I use this to be able to find out what he was sensitive to. All you would have to do is just reduce all those things out. If you didn't know how to do that, you just reduce all those things out of your diet, and what happened would have happened. So after you left wheat, corn, and refined sugar out of your diet, what then happened?
Good stuff. First of all, I haven't had any more eye pain except for one day when it started to come on. I got rid of it like that.
With tapping?
Which is, for a month, that's unprecedented.
Okay. How often did you normally have it?
A couple times a week at least.
Okay, and at what severity on a 10-point scale?
Well, 10-point scale is a migraine. So I'd have a migraine every month or two to start with eye pain, just lead to that, and a couple times a month I'd get a bad headache.
Well, I want to make sure I understand that. A couple of times a month, you said a couple of times a week you get eye pain.
Right, and a couple times a month that would turn into a rather bad headache, and then once every month or two that bad headache would upgrade to a migraine.
Okay. All right. The eye pain itself, with headaches attached, just the eye pain itself is a couple times a week. And how bad did the eye pain get on a 10-point scale?
8, somewhere around there. Yeah.
Okay. Is that what his typical number was, or what range would it be?
Oh, well, it always starts out minor, 1 and 2 and builds up. It's progressive.
Okay, but it typically gets to 8, is that right? Or, okay, all right. You have not had that since, except the one time where you just tapped it away. And, okay. What else has happened?
I've missed wheat and corn and refined sugar a lot. I'm sleeping much better, and very little problem with falling asleep or getting back to sleep when I wake up. Both were problems. And in the last month, I've felt depression coming on, and tapped for that, and it disappeared. It didn't return. So it's been, I haven't lowered my dosage, which is extremely low anyway, 50 milligrams. Haven't lowered it, but I've normally in this amount of time there would have been some real occurrence of depression.
And all you had was the beginnings of it one time?
Right.
One time?
One time.
Okay. If I recall correctly, you said you got your depression something like once every 3 weeks. That was an estimate. I think I remember you saying
something like that, yes.
Okay. And you hadn't had depression for like 2 or 3 weeks before the seminar anyway.
Exactly.
Here comes the seminar, you do the tapping, and now we are 4 weeks after that, which we're way beyond the window when you would have normally have had some significant bout of depression. It hadn't happened.
It's one of those grand coincidences I'm sure you talked about. No, I feel it's pretty safe to say that's working on the depression as well as the other two things.
Yeah. Okay. I wanted Todd to share that with you. I wanted to get you some idea of the toxins. He wasn't making no headway at all, and it was only because they're toxic to his system when we got these toxins out of the way that his system just cleared up and it became very easy to work with.
Right.
And we just do it over the phone, and just bing, 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 and your system responds very well when you tap on your own and so on.
Right. I had been massively reversed.
Yes.
So whatever I was doing, I was sort of sabotaging myself.
I want to just try something, okay? Just put that in your pocket, this pocket up here, would you? If you recall, I had you up here on stage here the last time, and typically when somebody has depression, they are reversed, getting over depression. It's one of the common things. It goes with depression typically. Well, I'm going to do the arm twisting again. I'm just curious what it is, okay? So I want you to resist me with all you have, okay? Ah, good. Okay. See, I want to get over this depression.
I want to get over this depression.
Okay. Be strong. Okay, I want to keep this depression.
I want to keep this depression.
Be strong. Okay, you notice the difference? Okay. Now, before when I did that, it was the other way, wasn't it? Okay.
Absolutely.
And I didn't have him unreverse himself, but you've been tapping on your own, and the result of it is now when I test him, like in the clear out here, I want to get over this depression. He's not reversed on it anymore. Do you see the value? What I'm trying to point out is the value of unreversing yourself and doing this consistently throughout time. Those of you who are interested in business and golf and whatever the issue is, reversal is in your way, and you can get out of the way, but you've got to condition your system. And by the way, when you would do the tapping just routinely throughout the day, did you ever feel any different? I mean, you did the tapping routinely. I mean, did you feel different before and after, or just
no?
Okay, you won't feel different. That's why you have to academically know what you're doing, because your body doesn't say, "Oh, I'm healed." It doesn't do that. Okay, it just doesn't do that at all. Right?
I was told when I was here at the seminar, the last seminar here, that when you're massively reversed, when you want to do something, the way your system's set up, you build in your own sabotage. So you really have to commit and maybe get even outside support to keep tapping and doing whatever. And I did that with someone else here, and otherwise I probably wouldn't have continued.
Oh yeah, okay, good point. Good point.
So I had set up a buddy system, and otherwise, if something works and you're massively reversed, you're likely to drop it out.
Yeah, is that Ellis you're dealing with? Ellis? Good. All right. Quite often, if you eliminate these things from your diet, and you will notice changes in yourself. Then if you want to find out what it really is, you can start putting things back in one at a time and notice change. If you put all those out of there and then you started using caffeine, for example, and you weren't bothered by anything, then caffeine's probably not it. But if you start injecting caffeine, caffeine's got to be one of the big ones because I'm having my problems again. Okay.
How long do you need to eliminate?
That you can only. The question is, how long do you need to eliminate? That is done by trial and error. Sometimes you can just eliminate it for 2 or 3 weeks, get beyond the problem, and then re-inject them. But typically not. Typically, if you find something that's really sensitive, you really shouldn't be ingesting them at all. Al,
But
I'm sorry. Can we have the microphone?
Oh, well, I was just, my question was on your list of toxins here. It makes a little bit of sense, but I don't see French fries on there, and I see herbs on there. And I know herbs are used for healing, and I don't think that I want to eat a lot of French fries.
Okay.
In my lifetime. So
okay, good
how
question.
did we arrive at this?
Good question. By lots of experience, and what we have found is, see, some of the things. Give it back to Chris. She has another question here in a minute, but let me respond to that. Many of the things that you ingest don't bother your energy system at all. Remember, I gave you the example of the lady that smoked 20 marijuana cigarettes. I mean, you'd think that would bother her 6 ways to Sunday. None whatsoever. Somebody else it would bother. Okay, so whether it's French fries. Or anything else that shouldn't be in your system, you know, from a nutritional point of view. That's not the criteria. The criteria is, does it bother your energy system? And we have found by trial and error over years and years and years that those things are, if your energy system is going to be bothered, if it's going to be irritated, if it's going to, remember, it's a small percentage that happens to. If it's going to be, it's likely to be one of those. One or more of those. Okay, Chris?
Yeah, what I meant to ask is how long do you need to eliminate for before you'll feel a difference?
Well, this will be Todd's experience, so go ahead.
Yeah, I think my experience was immediate, and that's only my experience. I think all of us have different bodies and energy systems, and anything like this that you use here, you've got to find the truth for yourself. Yeah. How long you need to be off and how soon it'll impact. I felt it immediately, which is a good thing because, you know, wheat and corn make up a large part of everybody's diet, and it just so happened that that was causing reversal for me. So I found I was fortunate in getting results immediately when I cut that out.
Typically, by 2-3 days, you got to know the difference. 2-3 days. Because it takes that long to get the toxic residue out of your system, typically, but something like that. You'd notice a difference. Al, back over here. Or do you, okay.
Okay, thanks. On that subject of herbs, are there some herbs that like particularly stand out as being the culprits? Parsley,
Not really.
oregano.
It's kind of strange because as Jim was saying, herbs are supposed to be healthy for you. We have found, well, they may well be healthy for you, chemically, et cetera, et cetera. We have found for some people, I mean, it bothers their energy system big time, you know. And that's just, I mean, we try to hide it or not say it or something, but it's the truth. It's what happens.
Sort of overall generic herbs without any particular kinds.
Yeah, there's no one specific herb that we can say is, you know, worse than others. When somebody just doesn't make headway, and I'm suspicioning toxins, I start asking about their diet, and I'll ask about these things, and they'll say herbs, and I'll say, whoops, let's see if we can't reduce herbs, or, you know, eliminate herbs, and so on, you know. Okay, one more question, we're going to take our break.
When you said have you been tapping on a daily basis for the past month? How often have you been doing this with your buddy?
Actually, once. Okay, I have been tapping for the depression 3 times a day, doing the whole circuit. Up until a couple days ago, when I spoke to you and you said that I could try it without, with the buddy I did that only for the first week and a half. I found that once I established the routine, the habit, that I no longer needed that, or perhaps once I was no longer reversed, I could do things and continue doing things that were good for me.
Very good.
Oh, wonderful.
Very good.
Wonderful.
Very good insight, by the way. Thank you. Thank you. By the way, the last 2 or 3 days you have not tapped as per our conversation.
Right.
And have you had any problem with eye pain, sleep, or depression?
No.
Okay. Yeah, suspicion he's probably all done. Okay. And the only way you know is you don't tap, and you're thinking about reducing, getting off of Zoloft, et cetera.
Right.
And so you go out in the real world and see how it is, and if it goes away, it's gone away.
And I can always find other things to tap for.
Yeah. Okay, now here's an interesting session. This is a session where we bring several people up on stage to deal with a snake phobia. And happening in this seminar, there were lots of them.
Right.
And You have seen so many times on this tape where people get over things, like phobias, rather quickly, but you won't see that here. There are 2 people actually who have to leave the room,
Right.
Which is highly unusual. In fact, I've never, ever seen that before. And the rest of the people, while they make, good, in fact, even the people who left the room make good headway, as you will see. But it was nothing like we're used to. It takes many, 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 many rounds of the basic recipe. It's kind of a fun thing to watch. We have a few clever things going on in there. But the purpose here is for you to recognize that there was something toxic in the room, and the only reason we knew that is because it wasn't working very well with so many people.
Right.
And it was in a hotel room, and there may have been something in the air and so on. And so it just took a lot longer to do. And there's a number of lessons here as well. So take a look. Sherry does not like snakes, right?
That's putting it mildly.
Okay. But what I want to know from you is someone who has a snake problem, and I don't have any at all. I can have a snake right now and have it roll around my neck, and I hope we got that on camera, did we? That was marvelous. I'm sorry, and I'm sorry. We're here to minimize pain. But what I'd like to know from you is why is it you would have your reaction and I have mine? Why are they so different?
I really don't have an answer for that. I just know that ever since I was little, they've scared me to death, and it could be a garter snake. It doesn't matter.
And you know, logically, a garter snake couldn't hurt you if it tried.
Right.
I mean,
but
you know
they're
that.
still slimy and they're still wiggly. And
yeah, I know. They're awful. Are they not?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I know you don't know why, but I want you to give me your best guess. Why is it you have that reaction and I don't?
Because I'm irrational about it.
Because you're irrational about it. Okay. The cause of all negative emotions is the disruption in the body's energy system. Okay? The difference between you and me in that, and by the way, it's not a character flaw, it's just something that happens, is when I see a snake, my energy system doesn't go zzz. Does yours? Absolutely. In fact, some people even recognize, they even feel it electrically in their body. And they would even describe it as being electricity, would you not? I mean, going zzz like that. Okay? And the more intense it is, the bigger the zzz is, right? Okay? So, is a fear of something, like snakes, a negative emotion, yes or no? Let me hear you. Yeah, okay. The cause of a negative emotion is a disruption in the body's energy system. Now, let me ask you, Sherry, can you give her back the microphone a second? Sherry has a fear of public speaking, too.
No, I don't.
Okay. What causes your snake phobia? What caused it initially? Do you know?
Well, I was raised in Florida, and there's snakes all over the place, and I guess you hear about, people say, well, there's a cobra in my backyard, and then they get all upset, and maybe it was modeled for me.
Okay,
Maybe.
you don't have a specific recollection of running into a snake, going, oh my God, like that, and you've had a phobia ever since.
Oh yeah. When I was a teenager, some kids played a prank and threw one in the bathtub with me. A grass
right
snake.
next to you is another snake phobia.
I know, we were both raised in Florida.
Yeah, Gwen, would you take the microphone a second? Now let me point out something. You just had a rather substantial reaction. Is that a way to say it?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Now why did you have that? What caused that reaction?
I couldn't tell you.
Yes, you can.
I can?
Yes, you can. I just told you. What causes the reaction?
Me. The very picture in my mind scared me.
Okay, but I just asked you for the cause.
Because my mother told me they could kill me.
All right. All right. Now, I'd like to point something out. To you. Who else can tell me the cause other than what I asked him? Yeah, go ahead. Give Sandy the microphone, would you, Sandy? Who can tell me the cause of Gwen's reaction?
Well, just repeat what you're saying. The cause is the disruption of the energy body.
Yes, correct. And that's what I'd like to point out. I'm going to say that over and over and over again because, see, that's a violation of beliefs here. And that's, remember the apex problem where we said people will experience these things and explain it away, etc.? I just got through saying, what the cause of this was, and I asked both Sherry and Gwen what the cause was, and neither one of them gave me the answer, even though I just said that, right? That's not a criticism. It's for you to recognize the apex problem. You gave me another reason, which is a standard reason in this case, that is, something happened once upon a time and therefore it scared you. What really happens is whatever it was happened once upon a time disrupted your energy system. And ever since then, whenever you have the circumstance, the sight of it, or whatever, or her just mentioning it, just on a scale of 0 to 10, was that a 10 I was looking at? At least. Yeah, okay. At least off the charts. Okay, I'm repeating it because you don't have a microphone in front of you.
Off the chart.
How do you feel, Sherry?
Where is it?
Where is it? Where is it? Well, it's right here in my pocket, actually, you know. Okay. Now, remember, you take complete control, complete responsibility for your own emotional well-being, all right? So there is a snake. It's reddish in color. It's about maybe this long when it's stretched out. It's about the size of my finger, okay? Now, you're having some intensity about it already, okay, right? Okay. We do not want you to have intensity. We're going to do a little tapping on that. We're not going to do anything about this. And if it turns out, as we do the tapping, that you're still not comfortable with it, you need to leave the room or do whatever makes you comfortable. Okay?
You're not going to let it loose, are you?
I'm going to hold it right here in my hand. And I'm going to let you touch it if you want to. I'm going to let you hold it if you want to. I just thought, okay. Well, I see Veronica going tap, tap, tap. How you doing? Well, that's the wrong place to tap, by the way. Was that nervousness? Yes. It is? Okay, on a scale of 0 to 10, as I tell you about the fact that we're going to have a snake up here, what number do you give it?
I'm back up to a 6.
Back up to a 6. Okay, yesterday you were a 10, right?
Yes.
To begin with. Okay, and that wasn't, you weren't anticipating a snake yesterday?
No.
Okay. How about you, Patricia? Where are you?
5, I think.
A 5. Okay. Holly?
7, I think.
A 7. That's where you left off yesterday, was a 7.
Yeah.
Okay, Gwen?
I think maybe a 2 or 3.
It doesn't seem to bother you. Okay.
But I haven't seen it yet.
I know. Okay, but listen to this. She hasn't seen it yet. See, she doesn't know how she's going to respond, and she's concerned about that. All right. But she hasn't seen it yet, and you don't really know. Okay. If she does see it and she gets intense, what does that mean? Who could tell me? Anybody? Yeah, go ahead. Let me give this to you, Tom. What does that mean?
It's just that she's seeing another aspect.
Another aspect, that's right. There's something about this snake that she looks at. It moves in a certain way, or there's something about it that was not in your thought process as we were doing the tapping ordinarily, okay? But some of you have some intensity. Most of you do still have some. So we're going to go a round or two before this. But what I want you to do is to imagine this snake. What Adrian's going to do is later on hold it up in the back of the room. She's going to gradually bring it forward to the extent that you are comfortable having her do that. Oh, Sherry, don't you love this? Yes?
No.
Okay. I want you to do this. Tap the karate chop spot. I accept myself, even though I'm going to look at that snake. I accept myself, even though I'm going to look at that snake. I accept myself, even though I'm going to look at that snake. Okay. Now, looking at that snake. 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 Okay, just a second. You got to pound a little bit more. Looking at that snake. Looking at that snake. Looking at that snake. Looking at that snake. Okay, now I want to stop you a second, okay? Close your eyes just for a minute. Just get used to the fact that there is a snake. You're also able to get out of here if you want, because you're taking control of your own emotional well-being. But I want you to think about that and assess your numbers. Is it still a 5, or is it a 5 or a 10 or whatever, 7 or whatever it was? How are we doing?
8.
You're an 8. Where did you start off a minute ago?
At an 8.
At an 8. You haven't got any better. Also notice your hands were sweaty, too. Oh, my goodness gracious. Gwen, did it change at all?
Not really.
Okay. Holly?
No, it's still I'm getting ready to run.
Oh, you are? Okay. Patricia?
Not the same.
Not the same. Yeah, you need the microphone. Yeah.
A question.
Sure.
You had them as part of the setup. The phrase or the sentence you had them say was, "I accept myself even though I'm going to look at that snake," which struck me as very odd. I would have thought you would have said, "I accept myself even though I'm afraid of looking at that snake."
Well, that's part of the art going in here. See, the concept about the setup and psychological reversal, which is what that part of this is to acknowledge the problem and accept yourself for it, regardless of the words that you use. And what I had them do was acknowledge the fact that they were going to be looking at that snake. That is their problem immediately. And it's a very specific, pointed problem, looking at that snake.
I would have thought the problem was fear of looking at the snake rather than looking at the snake per se.
You can do it either way.
Oh, okay.
Because they know it's a fear when they're going through it. They know it's a fear. So. I tell you, I don't know what to do about that. Can we get that door open more? Adrian, would you go ask if there's another room we could use? Let me just ask. I know they'll probably say no, but just ask that, okay? All right, I want you to rub the sore spot, okay? Dig in, find that sore spot. See, I accept myself, even though I'm afraid of snakes. I accept myself, even though I'm afraid of snakes. Even though I'm going to see a snake soon, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, now here, seeing that snake. I want you to tap it a little more vigorously. Tap vigorously. Okay, seeing that snake. 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 Okay, tap on the gamut spot. Close your eyes. Open. Hard down right. Hard down left. Roll them in a circle. Other way. Happy birthday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Happy birthday. Okay. Seeing that snake. Seeing that snake. Seeing that snake. A little harder. Seeing that snake. Seeing that snake. Seeing that snake. Seeing that snake. All right, check it out. But you need to be. I need to know your best number. Is it changing? Close your eyes for a minute. Think about that snake coming up. And let's check it out. How are you doing? 0 meaning no change, or you have.
I don't feel it.
Okay, you're still an 8, Sherry?
No, about a 6.
About a 6, Holly?
Probably maybe 5.
A 5.
I'm down to probably 3.
About a 3.
3.
Oh, okay. All right, karate chop spot. Even though I still have some of this fear left, I deeply, completely accept myself. Even though I still have some of this fear left, I deeply, completely accept myself. One more time. Even though I still have some of this fear left, I deeply and completely accept myself. All right, tap the eyebrow. Remaining fear. Remaining fear. Under your eye, remaining fear. Under your nose, remaining fear. Under your chin, remaining fear. Collarbone, remaining fear. Under your arm, remaining fear. Gamut spot. Close your eyes. Open your eyes. Hard down right. Hard down left. In a circle. Other way. Happy birthday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Happy birthday. Okay, remaining fear. Remaining fear of snakes. 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 Remaining fear of snakes and remaining fear of snakes. Okay. You're still at a 0, I gather. You were at a 3. Are you still 3?
2.
2. Okay. How you doing?
I feel okay now.
Is that a 0?
Yeah.
Okay, Holly?
4.
A 4. You're coming down.
5.
5?
0.
Okay. Now, here's what I'm going to propose, but I want you, because see, I don't know what 4 and 5 means to you. Okay. What I'm going to propose now is that Adrian get the snake out, keep it way in the back of the room, and start to bring it up. Now, if you are you okay with that?
Yeah, as long as
Okay.
she starts back
Okay.
there.
Okay. Well, the reason I say that is because I want it to tune in to the exact thing that's happening. I want to be very specific with it. So as long as you're okay with that, as soon as you get intense about it, you say, "Whoa, wait a minute." And by the way, it's not a character flaw if the rest of them are, are calm and you're not. It's not a character flaw. It just means there's more aspects to it. There may be something, bothersome to your system going on, a few things like that. Okay. So you take responsibility and you let us know right away. Okay. All right, why don't you get it out? Wrong timing. It was on the floor. Okay, there we go. All right, but just yeah, okay, just stand right there for a second. Now, do you see it, by the way? Can you see it in there? Can you see? Okay, he was burrowed underneath the sawdust earlier, but you can see him. What's happening? Oh, okay. Well, how did your number go up at all? Did it go up for you?
No, because it's native. The skin color is not the one I
Okay. What? Say it again. The skin color?
Skin color is different. What I imagine, imagine
Okay.
the skin, different.
Right. Now this is a different aspect. This is a different she's talking about. You see, for her, an aspect of it is the skin color. We've got a snake with a different skin color she's used to. But all right, I want you to slowly bring it forward and just bring it 3 or 4 or 5 more steps. Okay, now stop right there. Can you actually see the snake there? You can't see it yet? Can you tilt it? It's just got a little red, it's kind of coiled up there, you see?
What kind is it?
It's a little garter snake. It's not a poisonous snake.
Okay.
It's not a it's not a cobra or anything like that. No, it's actually it's a harmless little garden snake, if you will.
Is there any anxiety coming up at all? It seems like there is with Sherry too.
Well, a little bit.
Yeah, so I think it's happening.
Okay, how about with you, Patricia?
A little.
A little. Veronica? Okay, none for you. All right, why don't all of you do it anyway, just to as long as you're standing there. But do this. So even though I have this remaining fear of snakes, I want you to look at it. I want you to look at it. I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though that snake is coming closer. I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though that snake is coming closer. I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay? Snake coming closer? No, remaining fear. Remaining fear. Remaining fear. Under your arm, remaining fear. Remaining fear. Remaining fear. Under your arm, remaining fear. Can the snake come a little closer? Okay with you? You're down a little bit? How about you, Holly? Okay, bring it 3 or 4 more steps.
Are you okay, Patricia?
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't ask you. Closer? What's going on?
I just felt a butterfly in my stomach.
Okay, I want you to tap right here. Under your eye. Look at that snake. Okay, under your arm. Butterfly?
No.
Okay. Any intensity going on? Okay, under your eye. Collarbone? Under your arm? Hold this for me, would you? Okay, come here. I accept myself even though I have this fear.
I accept myself even though I have this fear.
I accept myself even though I still have some of this fear.
I accept myself even though I still have
I accept myself even though I still have some of this fear.
I accept myself even though I still have some of this
Okay,
fear.
so remaining fear.
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 Remaining fear. Remaining fear. Remaining fear. Remaining fear. Remaining fear.
Okay, look at me. Close your eyes. Open. Hard down right. Hard down left. In a circle. Other way. Other way. Happy birthday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Happy birthday. Remaining fear.
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 How's it now?
He's moving.
Yeah, he is. Would you like to leave?
I think so.
Okay, all right, all right. Yeah, sure. We need a microphone, though.
Carrie, why don't you go outside, work with her outside, and see if she improves?
Yeah, I'm going to do it this way. Ellis, would you mind
I know.
handling the snake here a second? And Adrian, would you go out and work with her?
Now, I have to point out, too, that was a different aspect that came up for her.
It was moved. It moved, okay.
Really moving.
Wait, Holly, would you go outside with Adrian? All right, come stand up here. We have a very toxic room. I'm going to have to move this room or something. I don't know what it is. Anyway, how are you doing with the snake?
Okay, but
Okay, but give me a number.
4.
4.
I'm about a 2 again.
About a 2.
1.
Okay, can you come a little closer?
Yeah.
Okay, a little closer. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
What number are you now?
2.
All right, tap here. Just look at the snake and tap here. Okay, look at the snake and tap here, and then tap under your eye. Tap under your eye. Just look at it. Tap under your eye.
It's really moving.
Is it bothering you?
A little bit.
Okay, tap under your eye. Tap under your arm.
It's moving a lot.
Okay. Do you notice as you're tapping that it's coming up or down?
It's going down.
Going down for you?
Yes.
Okay. How about you?
I'm a little hot.
You're a little hot. Okay.
I could
How about
never
you?
look
Down. I feel okay.
You're
in
0?
a cage.
Yeah.
Say it again, Veronica.
I could never even look at one in a cage or a picture.
Well, you can do that now.
I'm looking at it.
Okay, but you have intensity about it now. Give me a number on a scale of 0 to 10.
Well, I'm going up and down. And I'm still
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Take a look at it, okay? Take a look at it. Take a look at it. Is this bringing it down at all, what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, here's an interesting lesson, by the way. You'll notice I'm not doing the setup here right now. We've done the setup a lot, getting rid of psychological reversal. I'm going to talk about this a little bit more later. But sometimes you do it enough, you don't have to keep doing the setup all the time. And what I'm doing is I'm going right beyond the setup in the interest of time. And it's seeming to work without having to do the setup here, right? I mean, you can notice it coming down.
Yeah.
Okay, now but you're still giving me quite a breath, aren't you? I mean, you're out of breath and...
No, it's like...
Oh, this is a sigh.
He's staying still for a minute.
Okay, but he's going to move again.
I don't think I could not hold him, but I can look at him. That's...
Well, can it come up here?
Yeah.
Okay. Ellis, why don't you come over here beside me here, would you? Okay, now there's his face right there. Do you see that?
Yeah, I don't like it.
Give me a number. Is it a 10?
I just saw, look at
All
his
right,
eyes.
well, no, tap right there. Tap right there. Okay, keep tapping. Okay, keep tapping. How are you doing, Patricia?
Okay. I don't want to hold him, but I can look at him.
Okay. Do you notice it coming down when I do that?
Yeah.
Okay. That means we don't need to do the setup if it's coming down. What number are you right now, Patricia?
2.
You're 2. How about yourself, Gwen?
I'm good. I'm fine.
You're fine.
About a 3 or 4.
You're about a 3 or 4. Okay. But I'm going to take the top off. Yeah, I've got to tell you something. This is highly unusual. Highly unusual. Usually, you haven't experienced this before, but almost invariably, we'll get people 1 or 2 rounds and they're fine with the snake. The fact that we get more aspects coming up and everything that goes on, there is something bothering the system. We've got to take care of this or we're not going to make headway today. It's moving.
Yeah.
What number are you?
Ooh. And back up. Look at it.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, I can see it. Okay. But I want you to do this, okay? What's happening is your energy system is going blah, 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 all over the place, you know. Is that any better?
Yes.
Okay. What's the number now?
It's okay now.
It's okay now. How about me taking the top off? It's okay. All right. Let me do that. How about you, Ellis? Is it okay with you? Is it okay with you if I take the top off?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So far.
So far. Dan, do me a favor, would you? Would you stand over here and hold this a second? And okay, let me. Now, come on. I want you to come down here because I'm going to take this snake out, but I'm going to keep it away from you. Okay? All right. But you guys know where to start tapping now, don't you? And I don't want you to look. If you start to get intense, you start doing some tapping. Okay? And pound on it. Okay? Okay, are we ready? By the way, this is really a nice little fella here. I'm going to show it to everybody else first, okay? Just so they can't see it. See? I don't know if you know much about snakes, but this is actually a pet. You go to a pet store. We got this at a pet store. You go to a pet store and you can buy a snake. And they actually kind of like the warmth of your hands. That's why he's moving around. And he couldn't hurt you if he tried. Anybody here bothersome? Is like
Mary pointed out it's a good thing the snake isn't phobic.
The good thing the snake, yeah. Well, maybe yes. And we want to be very careful of the snake. By the way, if you ever pet it, have you ever touched a snake, Eric? Yep. You want, if you just touch it like that, but remember when you touch the snake and pet it, you want to go from its head to its tail. That's going the direction of its tail. Otherwise, it's a little painful for him. Okay. Sure. You keep tapping up there, okay? Whoops, where's he going? He's going outside here someplace. You want to pet him? Okay. Well, just a second. He's doing something to me. I don't know what he's doing. Here we go.
He's pretty.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That kind of the skin is kind of smooth, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
pretty. You know. Anybody else want to touch it?
It's pretty. Nicely.
I see. We want to pet him. Oh, you do, huh? Okay. Give me your number. Give them the microphone, would you? Well, give me your numbers up there right now.
1.
1.
About a 4.
About a 4.
1.
A 1. Okay. Do you want to?
Please.
having experience. Actually, a snake is really quite friendly. This, I don't know what this name is. We're going to call him Charlie. Yeah. You want to touch him?
I did.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay. Did you had a number of phobic responses yesterday. Was snakes one of them?
Yes, although that are not poison, I don't have any problem.
Well, listen, we don't want to be stupid here. I'm not going to bring a rattlesnake in.
But what the point was, I am afraid when I see a snake and I don't know if the snake is poisonous.
Anybody should be.
Yeah, anybody should be.
The question, Gary, we're not getting that.
Well, okay, the question is when she sees a snake and she doesn't know if it's poisonous or not, she gets a fear response, which is a normal response, by the way, unless it's just an abnormal, degree of it. But it's just very normal, and this does not take away your normal fear. I mean, we get people down to 0 and they hold snakes, etc. They're not going to go out and kiss a rattlesnake. They don't become stupid with it.
Because
Normal caution state.
In 2 accidents, yeah.
It's all right.
I was in 2 accidents or walking where I met snakes crawled in many situations.
Yeah, you want to hold him?
So what I got was a very bad feeling, but that's all right.
You want to hold him?
No, I don't think I want to hold. That's fine. I think I can.
Well, put both hands out. Try it.
Put him on my head.
No.
Put him on your head, yeah.
It's kind of all right. Okay.
He's cute.
Okay.
That's all right.
All right. I'm going to come a little closer, but I want you to tell me instantly if it's a problem for you, okay? The minute it's a problem, I want to hear from you, because you're taking responsibility for your own emotions, okay? Hi, Guy.
I want to point something out. Okay, I've taken Sherry and Holly outside, and we did some work. Now, you saw their reaction just with it in the cage. So different aspects came up. The snake is out, and then Sherry said, oh my God, she's touching it. Different aspect yet. So you tap for each aspect. And let's see, well, they're in the room. That's a good sign, right? Okay. How are you feeling, Sherry?
I'm about a 5.
Okay,
With
step
this.
outside the room and onto that pavement out there, okay? Just stay out there, okay?
Sure.
I don't want you coming closer until they feel real comfortable with it.
That's close enough, Gary.
Okay.
And are you still a 5?
Yeah, I'm a 5.
Okay. And what about you, Holly?
Probably like 4 right now.
4.
That is quite different than when they were, what they were. There's a lot more work to be done. There's a lot of different aspects here, but I just wanted to point that out. And we'll do more with them.
Okay. Give me your numbers now. Patricia?
1.
Do you feel like touching him?
No.
You don't? Okay. Gwen?
0.
All right, why don't you hand the microphone to Veronica and just come on over here a second, will you?
Oh, no.
Without touching it, how close can you come before you start getting a problem?
Probably pretty close.
Well, come on. Do whatever, but take care of yourself, okay?
I want to see where his head is.
Well, I don't know where his head is. There's his head, right there, his little tongue and everything.
No, this is okay.
It's okay, all right? But for touching him,
I'm not sure I want to.
All right, say touching him.
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 All right, now take a look at that. See, actually, I forgot which way is which. You did just do it that way. What do you think it feels like?
It's like skin.
Yeah, it is. It's really kind of smooth if you go away from his head, like in this direction. Want to try? Give me your number right now.
I'm 0.
You're 0.
Zero.
Okay.
I've never done this in my life.
Okay. You're 0.
0. I have chicken skin, but I'm 0.
You have goosebumps.
Yeah.
Well, then you're not really 0.
Oh.
Okay, even though I have goosebumps.
Even though I have goosebumps?
No, even though I have goosebumps.
Even though I have goosebumps.
People except myself.
I completely accept myself.
2 more times. Even though I have goosebumps. Completely accept myself. Yeah.
Even though I have goosebumps.
Okay. Goosebumps? 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 Look at the snake beneath that. Goosebumps? Goosebumps? You want to touch him again? Tell me if you get goosebumps.
Still have goosebumps.
Oh, you still have goosebumps. Okay. Adrian, you want to deal with her goosebumps for a minute? Okay. Why don't you go over to Adrian a second? Okay. Can you come closer? Are you okay to come closer? Okay. You're again taking responsibility for your own emotional intensity. Okay. Okay, on a scale of 0 to 10, what intensity did you get?
That was a 1.
It was a 1.
I've never done that before either.
Okay, you want to touch him again?
It's okay as long as he doesn't move.
Well, yeah, but do this. Take the glasses off, say moving snake.
Moving snake.
Moving snake. Moving snake. Moving snake. Moving snake.
Moving snake.
Here's moving. We can make him move, actually. Make him move like this. I'll just take him from around here. Whoops, oh guy, come on. There, is that moving enough? Yeah, good. Really smooth, isn't it?
Yeah. I always thought that would be slimy.
Yeah, no, yeah, people think that, but they're not really. How's the goosebumps?
I guess they're gone now.
Okay, you want to touch it again?
I'll touch him, but I won't hold him.
You'll touch it, but you won't hold it. Okay. Veronica, how you doing?
I'm okay, I'm behind her.
Okay. Can you come closer?
I can come closer.
All right, well, do what you can do, but take your own responsibility. Where's his head? What's the most bothersome part of the snake for you?
The head and just the way they move.
Okay, well, is he moving the way they move?
Yeah.
What number do you give your intensity right now?
Probably a 3.
Probably a 3. All right, tap, do some of the tapping and say moving snake. On your eyebrow, moving snake.
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 Now do it again. Say touching that snake.
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 Let me tap it. Tap there. Touching that snake.
Touching that snake.
Okay.
Touching that snake.
On a scale of 0 to 10, what is your reluctance? Notice the word. I'll talk about it later. What is your reluctance to touch the snake?
I don't know how to explain it. I just don't know whether I want to or not. I'm not sure. I'm afraid to.
Okay. Is it because it's unknown to you?
Well, seriously, I could never do this.
You could never
even look at it.
Oh, even look at it. I mean, well, we've come a long way. This is what you're trying to say?
Yeah, I'm a long way.
A long way. Yeah, obviously a long way. Can you come a step closer without getting intense?
I can answer that honestly, yes, unless his head switched this way.
Well.
Different aspect.
No.
Figure that out.
See, I don't.
Well, just having a look at you, okay? Snake, look at you. You want to keep tapping. See, if you're getting intense, it's because your energy system is going out of balance. So you need to keep balancing it. That's what you need to do, okay?
Snake moving toward me.
Yeah, I'll make you move toward me. Can you come closer? Can you touch my hand near the snake? Okay. You want to try it?
If he stays still, okay.
Well, I'm not going to guarantee that. Remember, moving snake, moving snake. That's an aspect for you, moving snake. Collarbone. Moving snake.
Moving snake.
I got to pound it a little bit. Collarbone. Moving snake. Under your arm. Moving snake.
Moving snake. He's really moving. He's turning around.
Yeah. What's that doing to your number?
I'm going up. Make him go the other way.
I'll take him away from you for the moment, okay? How are you guys doing over there? I didn't hear what she said.
I'm in here, that's all I can tell you.
Okay, all right. How's it now? You see the sigh in the breath? See, it's indication there's some relaxation going on. And we're making a lot of headway here, but I will tell you, I'm almost embarrassed to say this so many times, but I'm used to this happening. We've been done with this by now and on to 3 other things, you know. So there's something, and people don't have this many aspects typically. There's something irritating the system. How do you feel about touching it now?
I don't want to touch it, but I don't mind looking at it.
You don't mind looking at it. What if I put it around my neck?
No.
No?
Not do that.
Okay. What comes up there?
That's what happened to me, where they wrapped the snakes.
Oh, okay. Snake around my neck. Go ahead, snake around my neck.
Snake around my neck.
Keep going.
Snake around my neck.
Here.
Around my neck.
Here. Snake around my neck. Snake around my neck. Snake around my neck. Snake around my neck. Okay. Can I put it around my neck now?
Snake around my neck.
Can I put it around my neck?
Yeah.
I can? Okay, I'm going to go over here and do it though, okay? Just I'm a little bit away from you. You guys ready for this? Does that bother you?
I wouldn't want it around my neck.
Now, I'm not asking you to. I'm asking if this bothers you.
No. For it to be around your neck? No.
Okay, can I come closer? Okay, a minute ago it was bothersome for me to have it around my neck. It's okay now?
It's okay.
Okay, can I stand up next to you?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, look at the look on Sherry's face. Well, we're really close.
Even though that head is looking at me.
Oh, is the head over there? I don't know where the head is. All I know is that I'm getting a back massage, you know, a neck massage.
And I still have a fear of this snake. Any snake. Any color, any size.
Okay. Remaining fear.
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 Where is he?
It's right there.
Okay, he's looking out for himself though. Okay. How do you feel about it, Patricia?
I'm doing great.
You're doing great? Stand up here a second, would you? Can you touch him?
Yeah.
Okay. How about you, Gwen? Can you touch him? All right, come on.
Me too. I've never done this in my life before. I can't even see him on TV.
Yeah. You can't even see him on TV?
No.
Okay, but you now touch one?
Yeah.
What do you...
He's going to go down on your shirt.
Oh, is he going down on my shirt? I don't even see him. Well, maybe there's something good down there. I don't know. Okay. Would you hold this for me for a second? 'Cause we're going to take a break here in a minute. But I would like to visit, you know, with all of the snake people here. Say, you want to touch him again? You want to hold him?
No, but this is fine.
Okay.
I can't believe I'm even
Me
doing
either.
this.
I can't believe it.
No. I'm kind of screaming from a room.
Remaining fear snakes. Remaining fear snakes. You little sweetie.
He's actually pretty, isn't he?
Yeah, he is pretty.
I can't
Charlie.
wait for my husband to know about this. This is incredible.
Okay. All right. It's 10 o'clock. I want to take about a 15-minute break.
Let's check in with,
Okay.
Sherry has to say. All right, let's hear what Sherry has to say. You told me that you could not even look at a picture of a snake. Is that right? Okay. So you more or less been in a room with one.
It's the longest I've ever looked at a snake, that's for sure. I'm about a 2.
I would like to have...
Let's see how Holly's doing.
Okay. Holly?
Yeah, I'm okay right now. Just look at it.
Okay, but again, she was fine, and then the head moved, different aspect, and then she was fine, and then the tail moved, and then she was fine, and then he had it on his neck. That's all different. You know, it's more work. You go, it's layers. It's like peeling an onion.
You want to come closer?
I don't want him to crawl on me yet at all, but I don't mind touching.
Well, he's not going to crawl on you. Not unless I hand him to you.
It's pretty.
You went from, where did you start? What, your intensity you started yesterday. What was your intensity yesterday?
10.
10, okay. And
0.
0. You touched the snake and everything?
Yeah, and
Okay.
I've never done that in my life. And Dan just walked by behind me with the snake, and normally I would have been all hysterical. And I just noticed it and let it go. You know, I just feel neutral about it.
Okay. Now let me ask you a question. Again, it's an academic test. Okay. If you don't know the answer, it's okay. It's just you're just somebody I can bounce this off of. Okay. Holly up here has a different response, and so does Sherry, for that matter. They were not able to do what you could do. If they were to try to pet that snake, for example, as you did, they would get very high on an intensity scale. Yet they could stand away from it and do a lot better than they were. Why do you suppose they have a more intense reaction than you do when they did the same kind of tapping that you did?
They just have more aspects than I do.
Okay. Yes, they have more aspects, and I want to give a perspective to this. We talk about the aspects, and they're important. They're very important. But what we're seeing here is a lot more, quote, aspects than we normally see. And that's really indicative to me of the fact that we have an energy system that's just, I mean, a toxicity to the energy system. There's something is irritating it from this room, okay? We're getting beyond a lot of stuff today, and we're doing so under the most adverse of circumstances. And so they have toxicity of some kind, or they're more sensitive to this, or there is something that they're wearing or something else that is bothering their system at the moment, okay? Okay, now, Marilyn is sitting here with me, right? Yes. And I spoke with Marilyn on the phone a few days ago. And I asked her about snakes, and she said, well, if I saw a snake, if I saw a snake, you know, would you say, freak out or go bananas?
Yes,
or something like that, okay?
Be startled, yeah.
And you were up here yesterday, but you were dealing for height.
Right.
Okay, and you, after dealing with the height, you couldn't even imagine it, couldn't get yourself upset. You couldn't even think about being upset.
No.
With the height. So it worked for the height as far as thinking about it was concerned.
Right.
We only know if it really works if she gets on a building or something and looks down, and then when you know. The odds are it's going to be either greatly reduced in my experience or it's gone. All right. However, you didn't deal with snakes at all yesterday.
No.
Okay, now the reason I have Marilyn up here is because she's experiencing something that is experienced quite often, and here's an example of it, because you'll experience it for yourself or others you may want to help. Nonetheless, you sat right there, and having told me a few days before, if you ever saw a snake, you'd jump out of your skin or words, something like that.
Right.
Okay. You saw the snake, no problem. I brought it over. You were one of the first ones to touch it.
Right.
Okay. Can you explain what was going on with you as a contrast to what you would have expected?
It started with the height when we were working with that. I realized I could not picture what you were trying to have us experience. So I thought maybe what I have been experiencing is the thought that I have these fears, because I couldn't make them happen. I couldn't make it happen with the snake.
Okay. This is like a positive side effect. She was tapping for one thing.
Right.
But chances are, so we never know all that is going on in our subconscious, you know.
Right.
But you get tuned into all these things. How are you feeling right now anxiety-wise?
I'm fine.
Are you? Okay. Tuned into all these things, and my guess is you tuned into snakes as well, or fears in general.
Right.
By the way, sometimes we can do this very generally. We can have somebody with a number of fears. They can say, even though I have all these fears, I deeply and completely accept myself. Do the whole process for all these fears, and all these fears go away. Rare. Usually you have to take them one at a time. Okay, but that does happen from time to time. So what we did here was we were cutting down one tree, and a couple other trees fell with it.
They definitely did.
So you touched this snake like it was...
Oh, it was fine. I felt nothing. I mean, except curiosity.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, great. Thanks, Marilyn.
Okay.
But I wanted to make one comment, which is, I understood from what you said that, Gary, that you didn't regard the snake thing as a great success, but from my viewpoint as a psychiatrist dealing with people that have phobias and so forth, I know that there isn't any other technique that could have achieved anywhere near the results that you achieved. So for me, that was actually the most impressive part of the...
Yeah, I know. I think this morning I might have even made a comment, something like that, because that's true. I can beat myself up a little bit about not being perfect up here, because I'm used to that in many cases. You know?
Yeah.
I had 2 people run out of the room. I've never seen that, ever. You know, I'll go, what happened, you know? They're taking care of themselves, but something was going on that was amiss to me, so I learned a lot, and I appreciate that. But you're right, when you look at what did happen and not what did not happen, and I was focusing on what did not happen.
See, when you compare with what's going on in other parts of the world and therapies and so forth, the stuff that's happening here, even though it doesn't match up to your standards, it's so far above all the other stuff that...
Yeah, the other thing is, which I want to emphasize, this has all been done under the most adverse circumstances possible. It's been done on stage.
Now, Grace was a young woman who attended one of our seminars, and she was someone who also got nowhere with anything that we did during these 3 days.
Yeah, sort of like Todd.
Yeah, very much like Todd. And through persistence, complete persistence, Grace has made incredible improvement.
Yes.
And you had spoken with her, I believe.
Oh, in fact, both of us did on the phone, as a matter of fact, and she related the story to us. It was not only persistence, there were also some toxic things in her way, but she had so much toxicity going on that she had to, you know, kind of play detective and figure out what it was, you know, by trial and error was bothering her. And I think it's, well, she'll tell you on, because you'll hear an audio tape at the end of this, but I think it was eggs and dairy and sugar.
Refined sugar.
Yeah, sugar.
Right.
But the interesting thing here, and it illustrates a point, is not only does she, after persistence, and a lot of persistence, finally break through and is a totally different person you'll hear, you know, on this audio tape. One of the things she discovered was, having gotten these things out of her way, these toxic items out of her way, she decided one day to eat, I think it was
mothballs,
which had sugar in them, of course.
Yes.
And because he'd been out of her way so long, she then could see the contrast, and just everything, in her words, came flooding back. That is, the depression came back and so on.
Well, she said she actually had a very high level of anxiety come right, you know, within minutes.
And usually, you know, the toxic things we take in, we don't recognize their effect on us because it seems so routine because we're always doing it. This is just the way we always are, you know.
Right.
But the contrast was striking. And here, no better example do we have than Grace for persistence, and that's why we want to bring this to your attention. And actually, we're going to end this tape with it.
Good.
Okay. By the way, is anybody here experiencing depression at the moment? You are. Okay. Would you come on up? You could be my front and center prize student. Okay. First of all, are you nervous standing here? Shyness is one of your problems. Here, just hold that a second, okay, would you?
I feel too awful. I feel nervous.
Nervous. Is the depression or the fact that you're up here? Which is it?
It's not the fact that I'm up here.
Okay, it's depression. Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. On a scale of 0 to 10, how intense is your depression right now? Can't say it. Okay. Would you hold that for me?
Sure.
Okay.
About 25.
It's about 25. Okay. All right. I'm going to push right here, okay? The rest of you, I want you to do this with me, okay? But I'm going to zero in on her. Same words for you and everything, okay? Just do it. Find the sore spot. Okay. I accept myself, even though I have this depression.
I accept myself even though I have this depression.
Even though I have this depression, I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I have this depression, I deeply and completely.
Even though I have this depression, I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I have this depression, I deeply and completely accept myself.
Okay, this depression.
This depression.
This depression. This depression. This depression. This depression. This depression. Okay, this depression.
This depression.
Let me stop there 1 second. Do you notice a difference?
No.
No. Still the same?
This depression.
This depression.
This depression.
This depression. This depression.
This depression.
I'm going to do the whole basic recipe. This depression on the thumb. This depression. This depression. Or the whole sequence, I should say. This depression. This depression. Okay. On a scale of 0 to 10, what number would you give it now? Has it changed?
Maybe a 9.5.
Very little, though.
Right.
Okay. Now, the clue to me is, if it's that little, we haven't changed it at all. At least, I mean, you may feel like it's changed a little bit, but from my point of view, we haven't really changed it. We have some reversal going on, and we're not able to get beyond it. Depression often has psychological reversal. We're just going to be persistent with it, okay? Are you hanging here with me? Because I'm just going to be persistent with it. We're going to keep doing it, okay? You do the same thing, okay? I'm going to rub right here. Is this the sore spot right here?
Not really.
Okay. Tell me when I get it. I'm not getting it? You don't have it. You're depressing me. Come on.
That helps.
There, okay. All right. All right. All right. Okay. Even though I have this depression,
Even though I have this depression,
I deeply and completely accept myself.
deeply and completely accept
I want you to say it with emphasis, okay? Even though I have this
Even though I
depression,
have this depression,
I deeply
and completely accept myself.
Even though I
Even though I
have
have
this
this
depression,
depression, I deeply and completely accept
myself.
myself.
Okay, this depression.
This depression.
This depression. This depression.
This depression. This depression. This depression.
Okay, raise your arm. Okay, I'm going to go back up, okay? I want just go back up the body a second here.
Depression. This depression. This depression. This depression. This depression.
Okay, are you still 9.5?
Okay, maybe 8 compared to 4. How do you have a physical sensation in your body that tells you the level of depression? Is there a heaviness someplace in your chest? Is it a headache? Is it what is it?
There's a heaviness that goes from about here down to about here.
Okay, and has that lightened, or has it gotten shorter or longer, or what?
No, it's just got a little smaller than before.
A little smaller. Okay, is this a sore spot?
Yeah.
Okay. Even though I still have some of this depression left,
Even though I still have some of this depression,
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Could you open those windows for me? Those drapes? Even though I still have some of this depression left,
Even though I still have some of this
I
depression
deeply
left,
and completely accept
I
myself.
deeply and completely accept myself.
Again.
Even though I still have some of this depression left, I deeply and completely accept
Okay,
myself.
let me stop you a second. Are you switching scenes on me?
I didn't have a scene. I wasn't picturing this.
Okay, because I was seeing the tears come. Is that because we were shifting off to something else?
No, just because I feel like it's not going to work.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe it won't. Okay, we're not getting by depression. But anyway, let's do that one more time. Okay, will you hang in here with me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Even though I still have some of this depression left,
Even though I still have some of this depression left,
I deeply and completely accept
I
myself.
deeply and completely accept myself.
Okay, again.
Even though I still have some of this depression left, I deeply and completely accept myself.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. Okay. This depression.
This depression.
This depression. This depression. This depression. This depression. Okay. This depression. John, I want you to cut the camera. I want you to go outside with me and do it, okay? Grace and I had a discussion over lunch, right? And it's an interesting point, and she has volunteered. Come a little closer to me, could you? Has volunteered to help us out with something. You'll recall my somewhat ever-present vexation with toxins. I want to point something out to you. Toxins have the effect of not only getting in the way of these processes working. Their major effect is actually causing psychological reversal and are not allowing us to get beyond it. And I wanted to point some things out here, and we're going to put this down because we don't think we're going to need it. I want to point some things out here with Grace. Now, we're going to do some arm testing with her, and this is going to be an interesting point. What I want you to do is to take your hand, if you would. First of all, just be strong for me, could you? Just be strong. Okay, good. Now put your hand on top of your head. Remember, this is a positive polarity. This is when you would normally expect someone to have a strong arm. Okay, positive polarity on top of the head. All right, be strong. Do it again. Be strong. Okay, now turn it over. Okay, be strong. You see the difference? Now, ordinarily, if somebody is not reversed, it's not a character flaw. It is something that happens. Some people have green eyes, some people have blue eyes. Okay, that's not a character flaw. It's something that happens. And in fact, in this case, it has nothing to do with her fault. We're going to talk about that in a minute. It's just something that happens. But anyway, most people will put their hand on top of their head like this with a positive on the top, and that's when they'll go strong. That's, quote, normal, unquote. And the others, when they do this, they'll go weak. See, they have the opposite, okay? That's an example of being reversed. Now, what I want you to do is say this for me, okay? Say, I want to be happy.
I want to be happy.
Okay, be strong. Okay, I want to be miserable.
I want to be miserable.
Be strong. Okay, where were you stronger?
The second one.
The second one, okay? And that just verifies what we just talked about there. Now, here's what we want to do. I want you to correct her reversal as we have been correcting it in the past, okay? And since this hurts you a little bit, we'll just do it this way, okay? Okay, so let's do it this way. So even though it was happy and miserable, wasn't it? Okay. Even though I don't want to be happy.
Even though I don't want to be
I
happy.
deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Again.
Even though I don't want to be happy, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I don't want to be happy, I deeply and completely accept myself.
Okay, let's do this, okay? I want to be happy.
I want to be happy.
Okay, be strong. Okay. I want to be miserable.
I want to be miserable.
Okay, be strong. Okay, you see the difference? Now, we tried to correct her psychological reversal, the way you've seen it corrected over and over and over again, and when we get out of the way, then things work. But see, whatever's going on with her, and it's toxins, it literally irritates her system so that even though we do the reversal procedure, it simply will not work. It may have worked in a nanosecond or a fraction of a second or something, but it'll come right back. And that's why we were not able to get very much headway with her. I understand now you've had quite a change. Is that correct?
Yes, a huge change.
Well, tell me about it.
Well, in July, I saw remarkable changes in people in the seminar, but I wasn't having any success myself. And then in August, the same thing happened, but again, I saw so much success that I knew that it had to work for me, and I just needed to be persistent. And so I have been tapping every day. I've been trying to tap at least 2 times a day for many different issues, and just been doing it every day without fail. And I'm a different person. My life is completely changed. I was completely depressed and suicidal, felt really awful, couldn't make myself, couldn't bring myself out of it, and nothing else in my life has changed externally except that I've been doing the tapping. So I stay away from the 3 things that seem to be the most triggering for me, and that's really made a big difference.
What are those 3 things?
The 3 things are dairy and eggs and sugar, refined or unrefined.
Yeah, Adrian was telling me that you ate some sugar, like some malt balls or something like that, and had quite a reaction to them?
Yes, well, one day, of course, it had been a little while, I'd been feeling great, and I thought, a few little malt balls, they won't hurt. They got, naturally sweetened. And that evening, I felt incredibly anxious and just really wanted to jump out of my skin, and I just felt awful. I mean, I couldn't wait till the day was over. I just felt so terrible. I started feeling really depressed, really hopeless. I started feeling despair. Everything just came flooding back in.
Yeah, and certain toxins will do that. And that is the kind of thing we try to emphasize to the people that attend, that some people are sensitive to some things, like you.
Right.
And what you did was you stayed away from that kind of thing. You felt much, much better. And then by contrast, when you finally introduced sugar back in, then you really got the message loud and clear.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been remarkable.
Good.
By the August seminar, I had, there were days when I felt more up if I was more engaged in what I was doing, but really I was still depressed. It really started to lift after that, because it wasn't until the August seminar that I decided, okay, well, maybe I won't be able to eliminate all toxins from my environment since I'm toxic with so many things, but this technique works so powerfully that I'm just going to do it anyway. And just doing it and doing it and doing it, I've seen incredible results.
Yeah, that makes you a kind of a monument, because most people do not have that persistence. They'll try a few times, the ones that don't have the headway right away, like so many do, and they'll tap and they'll for a little bit, and then they'll just give up.
Right.
And you have kept with it, and you have basically tapped yourself into a great place.
I realized that this technique was so powerful, but the only way it was going to be powerful was if I did it.
Indeed.
So
thank you. Yes, that's great.
And I saw how after a week or so after the seminar, I had to remind myself that I wanted emotional freedom more than anything else, and I was just given the greatest tool to have that potentially, and I couldn't just not do it.
Oh, that's marvelous.
Yes.
Grace, God bless you, and thank you for this interview, huh?
Absolutely. I want everybody to have this opportunity.
Okay, thanks.